Welcome to Here is Wisdom 13:18. If you are not aware, the name of this channel comes from the biblical verse, Revelation chapter 13, verse 18. And this verse, Revelation 13:18, says, Here is wisdom. Let him that hath knowledge count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. For those that do not know, a score is equal to 20, so 60 is 60. Revelation chapter 13 verse 18 is the biblical verse that gives us the number that we call the mark of the beast, which is 666. There are a number of things that I find interesting in accordance with this verse. Some are obvious, but most are not so obvious. To some people, a lot of what I'm going to talk about in this video will seem like I am reaching, but I don't believe this to be the case. I do, however, believe that those in control want people to believe that what I am saying is reaching. It's a way to mask the truth that is available for people to see, but the truth that they choose to ignore. One of the things that I find most telling about Revelation 13:18 is that if you were to multiply 13 times 18, you will get the answer of 234. In mathematics, mathematicians like to deal with all components of a number to include their inverse. The inverse of 234 is 432. So if you add 234 to its inverse, you will find that the answer you are given is 666. So the point of saying that is the biblical verse that speaks of the number 666 calculates to 666. And I think this is more than just coincidence. One of the most telling lines in this biblical verse is the line that says, For it is the number of a man. Throughout history, we have been told that the number 666 is a number that represents the devil or Lucifer or some other being not of this world. However, in truth, Revelation chapter 13 verse 18 tells us who exactly the beast is in the very line, for it is the number of a man. We don't need to search for a certain individual like Hitler or anyone else who has been deemed as the Antichrist, because man in general is the mark of the beast. Man, or human beings, are carbon-based life forms, which is to say that we are made up of carbon. It is our most plentiful element in our body. And as many of you may know, carbon is the sixth element of the periodic table of elements because it is made up of 6 protons as well as 6 electrons and 6 neutrons. In what little I have read of the Bible, I often find myself wondering if there are other meanings or other tidbits of knowledge that the Bible writer is trying to tell us. We as people like to believe that most of the knowledge that we have was found out in the last 200 years. But history is replete with lost knowledge that pops up from time to time. One of the most telling examples is the pyramids of Egypt and how they were built with such a degree of accuracy that we cannot duplicate its construction today. Whether or not that is the truth is really not the point. There is a constant denial of God in our world. But as far as Revelation goes, no matter who you believe spoke or wrote the book of Revelation, whether it be God or John, who may or may not be John of the 4 canonical Gospels in the New Testament, someone who wrote Revelation was trying to tell us something, was trying to tell the people something. And that something that they were trying to tell us is in the verse when it says, Here is wisdom. Let him that hath knowledge count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. that they were trying to tell us that the number of man is 666 because we are made up of carbon atoms. That to some people may be a stretch, but that is a logical conclusion to lead to when you hear that verse and you know that human beings are made up mostly of the element of carbon, which again has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. The final point of topic that I want to refer to in accordance with this video is how Revelation chapter 13 verse 18 connects to a verse within Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13 verses 10 through 13 is what I specifically want to talk about. And that biblical verse says, "The disciples came to him, Jesus, and asked, 'Why do you speak to the people in parables?' And he replied, 'Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand.'" And that is the end of that biblical verse that I'm referring to. Again, that was Matthew chapter 13, verses 10 through 13. A biblical verse where the people, the disciples of Jesus Christ, asks him why he speaks in parables. And if we go to Revelation, the revelations of Jesus Christ, it is in my opinion that he is speaking to the people again in parables. "Let him that hath knowledge count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So that concludes the video. Just a point of connection between two biblical verses. Matthew chapter 13 verses 10 through 13 and Revelations chapter 13 verse 18. So if you have any points of information to add, please comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye.